Hello everyone and welcome back. The largest update in Halo Infinite's history has arrived and we are going to talk about it. I wanted to cover this update the day of release, but the entirety of Xbox Live decided to go down. So Call of Duty, Halo, every single game that is online and it uses Microsoft Azure servers was borderline unplayable. I also have to say that is the problem with these online only games. If there is anything wrong with the servers, the entire game is bricked and you can't do anything. This time around was particularly bad. Not even the shop worked. We know how Halo Infinite always has to have that shop. I was one of the lucky few who could still play in matchmaking, but nobody in-game had any coatings or skins. I think 5% of the total Xbox Live population could even play. I got very lucky. I did think maybe me being in Australia worked in my favor this time, but thankfully Halo did a back-end server update after about 8 or 9 hours and it helped alleviate the problems. In saying that, I've spent the last 48 hours putting Halo Infinite's latest update through its paces. This means testing out all of the new content, all of the major changes, and I've even taken the time to find very small details that players would potentially overlook. It is safe to say Halo Infinite's seasonal update is very important for the game, one of the largest the game has ever seen. So here's exactly what's in it and what you need to know. So first up today, we have the Halo Infinite shop. That's right, let's get this over with and then we can talk about all the good stuff in this update. First of all, the Halo 1999, the Macworld Orion armor is in the shop for 2,000 credits. For me, that's $30 Australian, $20 American. I know it's free to play Halo and I know there needs to be some kind of microtransaction, but I really want to see more earnable stuff just through playing. So you complete X amount of games, you get X amount of headshots, you do a certain thing X amount of times and you unlock a certain coating, a rare helmet, stuff like that. You can still have your microtransactions, but I'd also love some earnable stuff too. And I know you guys watching this video feel the same way. There's also this weird ass Nerf style Magnum or Mega Bloks Magnum or whatever you want to call it. It is for $10, but what is most notable about the shop update this time around is that you can actually spend real money now to buy Spartan points. So not the premium currency to buy stuff from the shop, the actual Spartan points you get just by playing. Ironically, you cannot do this the other way around. So you cannot use the Spartan points you earn just by playing to trade them in for shop credits to buy the premium items. You should be able to, but that would mean Microsoft loses money, so it is unlikely we're ever going to see that. I'm also not a fan that battle passes now expire. This became a thing last major seasonal update, and you guys spoke out in volume last video about being unhappy with the change. The free content from the battle passes now goes into the exchange. That is fine. The premium content, however, now goes into the shop. So instead of you paying $10 for the premium battle pass that comes with 4 to 5 sets of armor, you will now most likely, once it's in the shop, be paying $10 per armor set. It could be even more than that. I couldn't believe it. I actually had people arguing with me on Twitter telling me that this new way is better than it was before. So let me be the one to say it isn't. They introduced FOMO. It's just going to yield more money to them overall. You can make your own mind up about this, but I'm just explaining how the system works now. It was $10 for the entire battle pass. It is now most likely $10 per set of armor. While we're on the topic of battle passes and the exchange, and this is a good change, the exchange now has every single piece of armor, colors, accessory, basically every free piece of released content over the last 3 or so years is now conveniently selectable in its own category. I went through and bought up everything I didn't have. It probably cost me around 175,000 Spartan points. I did have 300k. I finished with about 125. This is a great change, and this is just feedback. If you want to go back in the menu, you have to manually select the exchange every single time instead of just pressing escape on your keyboard. So just make it so hitting back sends you to the other exchange menu. I'm surprised it doesn't do that already. There's a lot of free good stuff in the exchange, which is great to see, but I would really love some new pieces for a very high point value to incentivize players to grind for it. So with all the microtransaction and cosmetics out of the way, let's talk content. PvE, new weapons, playable stuff we all love. First of all, the PvE. I covered this after the official live stream last week, but the Academy is being attacked by the Banished. Iratus has been set loose by a rogue Banished Spartan named Liza Zane, and it's up to you and your fire team to drive them out of the facility and purge Iratus once and for all. There's 2 separate levels and they're both very fun, so big props to the Halo Forgers. It very much feels like a continuation of the live story narrative that was abruptly ended. That seasonal narrative was something I really wanted to see continue, but I guess the big shift to Unreal Engine Halo halted these plans indefinitely. In saying that, it's so nice the forgers stepped up to help finish the story. Now, something I really liked was the fact that these maps are linear firefight. It means you go through a level and it helps tell a story. We already have normal wave-based firefight, so to me, this feels like the next natural evolution of that. There are so many PvE fans in Halo and they have been starved for content. All they want to do is fight the banished. So in saying that, it's nice to finally see them get some content. Although I do feel like there is so much untapped potential for a PvE Helldivers-like game. Something I hope we see one day. All in all, I love playing these levels, but the payout of XP for playing them was extremely low. I saw Halo Studios say they're aware of this, so I'm sure it'll be fixed in time. Good for a few playthroughs if you want to load up Halo Infinite and give them a shot. This brings me to the Mutilator, Halo Infinite's brand new weapon, and I spent so much time yesterday putting this gun through its paces. I actually did a full breakdown of the weapon, and I'll put that in the end screen if you're interested. But to me, it's the most interesting weapon that is released during Infinite's life cycle. A Doom shotgun and a gravity hammer all in one? Hell to the yeah. I spent some time practicing with the gun's gravity hammer physics attachment, and you can get crazy distance by meleeing vehicles. I did notice, however, even though the gun is quite common in Fiesta-like game modes, in Big Team Battle, it's also there, but it felt much more rare. Some more feedback for Halo Studios: put the new weapon on more big team battle maps. Aside from that, I was quite pleased to see at just how good the hit registration is on this gun. Both the single fire and the double barrel shots are accurate, even at range. Very satisfying to use, and I just love how useful this gun is. As a quick side note, and I'm mentioning this again purely because it's so cool, look at the dials on the interface for this gun, locking and unlocking the barrels as you swap between the firing modes. Absolutely fantastic. The Mutilator, this weapon, is very unique for one major reason. The animations for it were completed years ago. The Mutilator is the only new weapon on Halo Infinite to have unique reload animations and melees. After this was done, the gun sat there for a couple years, and Sky, a 343 developer at the time, he came in and finished off the last set of animations and polished up the weapon. In terms of audio, the melee sound is the gravity hammer sound, and the firing noise is the bulldog. Limited resources on Halo Infinite skeleton team is the culprit of this. If you do want some hands-on testing against players, there's a brand new playlist called Mutilator Madness, but just keep in mind, it does have fairly strict skill-based matchmaking. While I am on the topic of skill-based matchmaking, here is your seasonal update on it. It's still fairly strict across every single mode. The game will actively punish anyone who does well repeatedly, so outside of any ranked playlist, my advice to you would be to mix it up. Spend some time goofing off. Don't take it serious all of the time. You will have a better matchmaking experience because of it. This brings me to quality of life fixes, and the developers at Halo Studios have really been putting in a lot of time and effort into this specific section of the game to try better the experience for those who play. I already mentioned the exchange now allows players to view what they haven't purchased with ease. What they've also done is they've enabled customization on so many guns that didn't allow it for years. I spent some time customizing the Heatwave, the Shock Rifle, Needler, and the Mutilator. I love how they all look. Halo Studios also nerfed the Banshee, a considerable nerf if I do say so myself. Now, the Banshee bomb projectiles don't fire as fast, and there is a cooldown, so you can't fire another one right away. If you slam a Banshee into a wall now, it will also deal a bit of damage. Before, there was literally 0 damage penalty for slamming the Banshee into a wall. Another welcome change. The only other 2 changes I need to mention, and you're most likely aware of them already, is that the Sniper Rifle Ricochet is back. They shouldn't have removed it, but thank you for bringing it back, and you get a little gold star next to your name whenever you perfectly destroy someone. Again, very happy that's in the game. And that's it. That is the entire Halo Infinite update. This will probably be the only time in Halo Infinite's entire history that a truly new weapon from the ground up is released, and I gotta say, it's a good one. Leaks indicate we may be getting a carbine in a future update as well. In my opinion, they'll probably be like the fuel rod, so a weapon model and then reused animations from previous guns. At this point though, as long as we continue to get updates until the new Unreal Halo project is ready, that's a win in my book. All in all, I'm a big fan of the update. Numerous really good things players will love, and all of the content in the update today is easily accessible for the player. You can just jump on and you can try the new gun for yourself today. So thank you all for watching. I hope you all enjoyed. Let me know what you think of the Halo Infinite update in the comments below, and I'll see you guys later.